He proposed 3 days before killing her. The true story of Wendy Sabatini. He bought the ring on a Tuesday. A small velvet box. A diamond. Not large, but not small either. The kind of ring that said, "I want to spend my life with you." He had planned the proposal for days. He would take her to dinner. He would get down on one knee. He would ask her to be his wife. He was sure she would say yes. She had said yes to everything else. Yes to the first date. Yes to the second. Yes to moving in together. Yes to building a life. Why would this be any different? But Wendy Sabatini was not the kind of woman who said yes to things she didn't want. She was 44 years old. She had raised a son on her own. She had built a career. She had learned to trust her instincts. And her instincts told her that Jason Eaton was not the man she wanted to marry. She didn't hate him. She didn't even dislike him. She just didn't love him the way he loved her. And she wasn't going to pretend. So when he walked into her bedroom on October 25, 2016, with a ring in his hand and a question on his lips, she stopped him before he could ask. "Don't," she said. "Don't ask me. The answer is no." He didn't take it well. 3 days later, Wendy Sabatini was dead, shot in the head, in her own bedroom, by the man who claimed to love her. This is the story of a proposal that turned into a murder, a woman who stood her ground, and a killer who couldn't accept the word no. Wendy Sabatini was 44 years old when she died. She lived in Greensburg, Indiana, a small town of 11,000 people, about an hour southeast of Indianapolis. The kind of town where everyone knew everyone. The kind of town where neighbors looked out for each other. Wendy worked as a nurse. She had spent her life taking care of other people. First as a single mother, raising her son Lake on her own. Then as a healthcare professional, helping patients heal. Her friends describe her as inspiring. Her ex-husband said when he first met her, he couldn't take his eyes off her. Her son said anyone who met her instantly fell in love with her. She was a wonderful person, Lake told reporters after her death. She was a very stern woman. She stood her ground. Wendy had been divorced for several years. She wasn't looking for a husband. She wasn't looking for anyone to complete her. She had built a life she was proud of, and she didn't need a man to validate it. But she wasn't closed off to love either. When she met Jason Eaton, she was open, hopeful, willing to see where things went. Jason was different from the other men she'd dated. He was attentive, affectionate. He remembered small details. He brought her flowers for no reason. He seemed to genuinely care about her. For a while, Wendy believed he did. But as the relationship progressed, she began to notice things. Small things at first. The way he got quiet when she disagreed with him. The way his mood could shift without warning. The way he talked about their future as if her opinion didn't matter. She tried to talk to him about it. He apologized. He promised to change. He always promised to change. But he never did. By October 2016, Wendy had made a decision. She was going to end the relationship. She just hadn't found the right time. She never got the chance. Jason Eaton was 45 years old. He worked as a truck driver. He had been married before. He had children from a previous relationship. He was not a man who was used to being told no. Friends who knew both of them said Jason was more invested in the relationship than Wendy. He talked about marriage. He talked about forever. He talked about a future that Wendy had never agreed to. Wendy's friends warned her. They said Jason was possessive. They said he had a temper. They said she should be careful. Wendy listened. But she didn't leave. Not because she was afraid. Because she wasn't sure yet. Because she wanted to give him a chance. Because she believed that people could change. She was wrong. In the weeks leading up to her death, Wendy told a coworker that she was thinking about ending things. She said Jason had been pressuring her to get married. She said she wasn't ready. She said she didn't think she ever would be ready. Not with him. He doesn't listen to me, she said. He hears what he wants to hear. And when I tell him something he doesn't want to hear, he shuts down. Or worse. The coworker asked what she meant by worse. Wendy didn't answer. On October 25, 2016, Jason went to Wendy's house. He had the ring in his pocket. He had a plan. He walked into her bedroom. He got down on one knee. He opened the velvet box. Wendy didn't let him speak. "Don't," she said. "Don't ask me. The answer is no." Jason froze. The ring was still in his hand. The words he had rehearsed were still in his throat. He asked her why. She told him the truth. She didn't love him. Not the way he wanted her to. She was sorry. She didn't mean to hurt him. But she couldn't marry him. Jason stood up. He put the ring back in his pocket. He walked out of the bedroom. He walked out of the house. He got in his car and drove away. Wendy thought that was the end of it. It was not the end. 3 days passed between the failed proposal and the murder. 3 days in which Jason Eaton could have changed his mind, could have accepted her decision, could have walked away. 3 days in which he chose not to. On October 26th, the day after the proposal, Jason told a friend what had happened. He said Wendy had rejected him. He said he was devastated. He said he didn't know what to do. The friend suggested counseling. Jason said no. The friend suggested giving her space. Jason said no. The friend suggested moving on. Jason said nothing. On October 27th, Jason went to a gun store. He purchased ammunition. He told the clerk it was for target practice. He did not go to a shooting range. On October 28th, Jason drove to Wendy's house. He parked down the street. He waited until her son left for work. He waited until the house was empty except for Wendy. Then he walked to the front door. He knocked. Wendy opened it. She didn't look surprised to see him. She didn't look scared. She looked tired. "Jason," she said, "I told you. It's over." He didn't respond. He walked past her into the house. He walked upstairs to her bedroom. Wendy followed him. She asked him what he was doing. She asked him to leave. She asked him to stop. He didn't stop. He pulled out the gun. He walked behind her. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, facing away from him. She didn't see him raise the weapon. She didn't see him aim. She didn't see the flash. The gun fired once. The bullet entered the crown of her head. She was dead before she hit the floor. Jason stood there for a moment. Then he put the gun down. Then he walked out of the bedroom. Then he walked out of the house. Then he drove to another woman's house. He told her what he had done. "I messed up," he said. "I think I killed Wendy." The woman didn't call the police. She drove him to the police station. He walked inside. He approached the front desk. "I need to report a murder," he said. "I'm the one who did it." Jason Eaton confessed immediately. He told the police everything. The proposal, the rejection, the 3 days of waiting, the gun, the drive to her house, the walk up the stairs, the single shot. He described it all with the detachment of someone reading a grocery list. "I retrieved a firearm from a nightstand and moved behind her," he told investigators. She was seated on the opposite side of the bed. The gun fired. It struck her in the head. He said he didn't mean to kill her. He said it was an accident. He said the gun just went off. The police didn't believe him. The gun didn't just go off. He had to walk behind her. He had to raise the weapon. He had to aim. Those were choices. Deliberate. Calculated. Murderous. When police searched Wendy's home, they found her body in the upstairs bedroom. She was still in the clothes she had worn that day. She had been dead for several hours. Her son, Lake, had come home from work expecting to find his mother watching television. Instead, he found police cars, yellow tape, a chaplain. "I thought my mom was still at work," he told reporters later. "I didn't know anything was wrong until I got home." He was 22 years old. He had just lost the only parent who had ever been there for him. and he had lost her to a man who claimed to love her. Jason Eaton was arrested that night. He was charged with murder. He did not fight the charges. He did not claim innocence. He did not ask for mercy. He simply waited. Jason Eaton's trial was brief. He had confessed. There was physical evidence. There were witnesses. There was no defense. His lawyer argued that the shooting was an accident, that Jason had been emotional, that he hadn't meant to pull the trigger. The prosecutor didn't buy it. He walked behind her, the prosecutor told the jury. He raised the gun. He aimed at the crown of her head. That is not an accident. That is an execution. The jury deliberated for less than 2 hours. The verdict: guilty of murder. The judge sentenced Jason Eaton to life in prison. Before he was led away, Wendy's son Lake asked to speak. "My mother was the kindest person I ever knew," he said. "She gave everyone a chance. She believed that people could change. She believed that love was stronger than hate. She was wrong about you. But that doesn't mean she was wrong about everything. I will spend the rest of my life trying to be like her. And you will spend the rest of your life knowing that you killed someone who only ever tried to help you." Jason Eaton did not look at him. He did not respond. He walked out of the courtroom with the same empty expression he had worn since the night he walked into the police station. He is in prison today. He will never get out. Wendy's family still visits her grave. Her son still talks about her. Her friends still remember her laugh. And a small town in Indiana still asks the same question. How could someone who claimed to love her kill her? Wendy Sabatini's story is not just about a man who couldn't accept rejection. It's about the warning signs we miss, the red flags we explain away, the moments when we tell ourselves that someone who claims to love us couldn't possibly hurt us. Her story offers lessons that can save lives. Lesson 1. No is not an invitation to negotiate. Wendy told Jason she didn't want to marry him. She was clear. She was direct. She didn't leave room for interpretation. He heard something else. He heard "not yet." He heard "convince me." He heard "try harder." When someone says no, believe them. Don't try to change their mind. Don't pressure them. Don't punish them for being honest. Lesson 2. Possessiveness is not love. Jason talked about Wendy like she belonged to him. He planned a future she hadn't agreed to. He felt entitled to her yes. Love is not ownership. Love is not control. Love is not demanding someone be who you want them to be. If someone treats you like property, run. Lesson 3. Trust your friends. Wendy's friends warned her about Jason. They saw what she didn't want to see. They told her to be careful. She listened, but she didn't leave. If the people who love you are worried about your relationship, pay attention. They are not trying to control you. They are trying to protect you. Lesson 4. Rejection is not a reason for violence. Jason Eaton killed Wendy because she said no. Because she wouldn't give him what he wanted. Because he couldn't accept that she had the right to choose. Rejection hurts. It stings. It can make you feel angry, sad, embarrassed. It does not give you the right to harm someone. If you cannot accept no without becoming violent, you need help. Professional help. Before you hurt someone. Before you hurt yourself. Lesson 5. You are not responsible for someone else's feelings. Wendy stayed in the relationship longer than she wanted to because she didn't want to hurt Jason. She didn't want to be the bad guy. She didn't want to cause him pain. But his feelings were not her responsibility. His actions were not her fault. His violence was not because she said no. You are allowed to leave. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to choose yourself. Even if it makes someone angry. Even if they threaten you. Even if they don't understand. Choose yourself. Every time.